Hello, good morning. Welcome to this live session on English subject. SCERT has taken up the series of programs subject-wise we have been doing for this last 2 weeks. Today the turn is for English. My dear teachers and especially my dear children, this program is targeted you to make you understand further in the achieving learning outcomes. And this is where the 1 hour program is going to go. This you should make use of it and think that the teachers also facilitate at the receiving centers in all schools. And now in this particular session we are going to have 8th class. The target class is here 8th, and you know that our textbooks, our curriculum is totally on the basis of discourse oriented pedagogy. It's been decades now. And still we have little apprehensions, a little learning is not being taken up as we assured. But the thing is that to support you, to make you understand further, we have a session here today. This session is going to with 2 panelists here, and to my left Roja Rani. She's an expertise and the teaching learning process. Again, this is a very practicing teacher working at government practicing school, Hanmakunda. And left to her, Anthony, and Anthony 𝗧𝗧, and he's also Telangana Model School teacher, very aspiring and practicing teacher who are with us on the panel. My dear teachers and of course my dear children, I think and this session is going to be wonderful for you to further to understand what are the targeted discourses. You know that we have 2 kinds of discourses in the syllabi. What we have is a major and minor discourses. We are going to cover both major and minor, and this session is going to be live, and you should understand how best you can go into this with the help of these 2 teachers here. Now it's very important that before discourses we have a very basic outcome that we have, that is a reading comprehension, where children are lagging behind this. In fact, because when reading comprehension comes, they do not go into the paragraph, they do not comprehend in fact what actually the target is, but they try to do something, whatever the lines are there in the paragraphs, and they try to get and write. For example, let's take the first 2 lines of the first answer, second 2 lines is the second answer, like that. In that way that things go, but it's not the way. But you need to exercise something in the classroom, and the teachers also should take care of that, how best the teaching learning process goes in to get the right comprehension. After the reading comprehension, we are going to have the targeted divided, as I was just telling, that is a major and minor, and we are going to have a 360 degrees of this 8th class will cover. If other class students also sitting there, no problem, because we have the same discourses but little elevated discourse in for other classes. But it is very useful for that. The teachers also can facilitate other class, like in 8th class, not only 8th and 9th and 10th also, teachers, students can sit and have this session, enjoy the session. I wish you all the best, and first of all, to begin with, I request Roja to talk something on the reading comprehension. It's over to you, Roja.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, everyone. Here, coming to the reading comprehension, we the teachers face a lot of trouble when we go for evaluating the scripts, because in spite of many instructions and many guidelines which we give to the students, most often we see the students to be simply copying from the passage that is given and writing down the answers. So coming to the reading comprehension, sir, I think reading is basically the ability to decode the information. So decoding here can be, how far they can go through the matter, how far they can comprehend the given text, and also interpret and express the things in their own way. So here, in order to test how far our students can understand and can come out with their own interpretations or analyze the given information, and also relate the events that is given in the text to the daily life, we usually test them in the form of different questions.
Yes.
So, the basic questions, if we speak about under the reading comprehension, can be divided or categorized into 4 types. First one is factual questions. We see most of our students to answer these factual questions correctly, because as the name indicates, they can find the answer in the lines itself. Between the lines, they can find the answer. They can directly go to the passage, identify the keywords from the question, go for identifying them in the passage, and then if they come out with 1 or 2 lines or sentences, they can come up with the answer. So, almost all 99% of the students can answer our factual questions correctly. But the only difference or the only suggestion as a teacher I would like to do over here is, sometimes when we suppose a passage might be related to a person's life. Here, when the question is posed, the students, what the error they are doing here is, they simply copy down the lines instead of replacing the personal pronouns. For example, from any one of the lessons of 8th class, how did the 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 feel, or where did the 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 go for 7 years? Then the answer I can find in the passage, that I had gone to my friend to visit my friend for 7 years, 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝗁𝗍, like that. They simply copy the lines and place it as an answer. And we are compelled to give the marks, but actually the fact is they can write the answer is correct, response is correct, but the thing is they have to say the 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝗁𝗍 went or he went to, but instead they simply are copying down the lines as I had gone to my friend. So,
can you suggest something, because the problem that you have put forward here, what
sir.
generally students are committing mistakes, but what are your suggestions on this particular area?
Yeah, the thing is, sir, first of all, they need to go through, whenever a reading comprehension question is given, we advise them to go through the questions, a quick reading of the questions. Not wasting the time, simply reading, glancing the questions, coming back to the paragraph, reading the paragraph, and while they go through the paragraph, our intention is, when they go through the paragraph, they would come across the words which they have glanced in the questions. This make them.
What is the teacher's role over here when they are asked to read the paragraph? Is there any teacher's intervention there to facilitate more?
Yes, sir. Here we say that when we go through the questions, you need to focus upon the keywords, and when you go for reading the passage with the keywords in their brain, when they go through the reading, definitely wherever they come across this keyword, that makes them to stop a while, and they know that, oh, this is the where I can locate the response. That means easily they can find the answers. Second thing is, our human brain is in such a way that wherever we come across a word or a term or a phrase, definitely whatever we know related to that earlier, either it can be heard in the classroom or learned somewhere earlier, definitely knowledge becomes cumulative. They retrieve the information.
Wonderful. I mean, to have something to support Anthony, can you throw some light on this out of your experience in this particular area?
Yeah. Especially like from my end, I would like to suggest the teachers, like, however best you try to tell the students, like they haven't written properly, like as ma'am rightly quoted, like they straight away copy down, like first question, first paragraph, second question, second paragraph. And it is like they are doing search and find methodology. They are searching the keywords, and if they find the words in that paragraph, they rightly dump it down, straight away dump it down. Now, why are the students doing this? If you just try to understand the psychology of the students, they are a little bit scared. They might miss any answer, a bit of an answer in that. So they were a little bit scared of it. That is why they try to dump it. So that, like, now it is like the teacher's turn to search the question, search the answer from the question. So I would like to suggest the teachers here, give a small paragraph, and then give them 2 options. One answer, the way they straight away dump it with the paragraph as it is, and the other one, give the answer exactly like what is like the focused answer, we say, exact answer, with the change in the pronouns and everything, with the grammar and everything. Because now, as per CC pattern, we teachers are compelled to give, because like contextual, if the answer is contextually right, then we are supposed to give half of the mark. If it is 1 mark question, then half of it we are supposed to give. But students have taken it for granted, but it shouldn't be that way. So the students should actually be given this choice, that these are the 2 answers. Now tell me, children, which one is right according to you? Then they realize their error, their mistake.
Anthony, here at this juncture, can you suggest something to the children, because the children are there in this, they are watching there.
Yes.
Directly, can you suggest something to the children in terms of reading comprehension?
Children, just a very simple thing, like when you are writing the answer, just try to understand and put it in your own words. Put it in your own words, like we say like summarizing things. So you read the question, you understand the question, and just try to put it in your own words. That is the best that I would like to suggest you. And be careful about the pronouns, as ma'am suggested, because if you use the pronouns wrongly, then you are completely getting diverted away from the reading comprehension. Yes, sir.
That's good.
What I would like
a good thing. And I think children, you must have understood what really the two teachers have suggested you. Even there are some suggestions for the teachers also. The teachers who are there watching this session should take care of this. And in fact, total crux of this our syllabi, our target is children must have a reading comprehension ability. In fact, that's a wonderful outcome that in terms of language acquisition process. I think you all make note of this. Now now we'll switch over to this what I was talking to begin with, that is the discourses. You know that we have only the discourse oriented kind of classroom learning process. The outcome should be like this only, because what the discourses produced by the children really makes sense, and that is the real language acquisition process what we have. In this we have critical thinking, and we have some other sort of thing how the language can be triggered through these targeted discourses. And now let me shift into the discourses that we have. You know that in every class we have two dichotomy in the discourses, that is the major and the minor discourses. Let me have the major discourses first. Actually, in terms of this, we have, as far as 8th class is concerned, we have major two discourses that that the biography is one of the discourse, and next the letter writing. So now let's focus on this biography. This is also very important where children should understand, and whenever we talk about the discourse, and it's very simple that we need to understand the features of discourses and how it goes on, and then what are other intricacies inside, what are the nuances in the discourses to produce something. And now I request Roja to begin with the biography, that is how the discourse is targeted and how the discourse is going to produced by children like you, and even the teachers also can think of this what the teacher is going to talk about. Over to you, Roja.
Thank you, sir. Biography is one of the easiest major discourses which we can describe as. Out of all the major discourses, it is easy to be understood and to be produced. That's the reason I used the easiest one.
Yes. Coming
to the teachers, and in the point of your children also, from the point of your children also, it's very, very easy. How is it easy and how can we make it so feasible is, it lies in the hands of the teacher and the students, as we know. The first thing is, a profile will be provided either in a tabular format or in the form of a doc, a simple chart. We need to, or a paragraph with hints. We need to use all the hints and convert the hints or phrases which are given in the form of the hints into the complete sentences.
Yes.
The simple thing is conversion of all the hints that have been provided to us in the form of the phrases into meaningful complete sentences can produce a meaningful biography. This is the first point.
Right.
The second thing is, now what else is needed? Here, as a biography is a major discourse. Every major discourse, as we know, can be of 1.5 pages. I mean to say nearly 3 to 4 paragraphs. Then only it can have its structure.
Yes.
So, as we go with the structure, then what should be there in these 3 or 4 paragraphs? Once we use 3 or 4 paragraphs, then the people will feel a little bit difficult. The children feel that, oh, how many paragraphs we need to write? And we know how elongated it might be.
Can you look at the children say something, because because they are listening to you.
Thank you, sir. Based upon the length, there is a possibility of increasing the errors.
Yes.
So usually the students will be in a difficult situation. So in order to ease the children, the first thing we would suggest is what should be there in these 4 paragraphs. The first one is here. An ideal paragraph in English can be comprised of 7 to 8 sentences. But here, when we come for the biography or the other major discourses like letter writing, etc., here we won't stick to that. We say that as we are producing the discourse in 1.5 pages nearly, comprising 3 to 4 paragraphs, each para might not be of 7 to 8 sentences. Coming to the first one, we say that we give some of the hints as we go. The first one is introductory paragraph. Here we won't use any side headings for the biographical sketch.
Yes.
The only thing is the first paragraph is introduction. What should be there in the introduction? The first one is here. Suppose that a biography of one of the famous singers or veteran singers as given in the 8th class, for example, S.P. Balasubramaniam. The profile is provided in the lesson, 6th lesson, and he is asking us to produce a biographical sketch. If we take that as an example, keeping all the hints before us, the first paragraph should be, first it should start with a lead sentence, also called as a topic sentence, wherein the students first they have to go through all the hints. Then they would come to an understanding of what are they going to write about and who is that person, what is that person, in what way he is unique in the history or in the or in the limelight, so that we are asked to write the biography of such a person. So first they have to read all the hints, identify his uniqueness, and the topic sentence should indicate who they are writing about and in what way he is unique. For example, Mr. S.P. Balasubramaniam, example only I am saying, we can write it in many ways. Mr. S.P. Balasubramaniam is one of the famous artists renowned in India and abroad for his legacy. He was multi-talented, sorry to say, was because he is no more now. So when they go through the hints once again, they would come across to know whether the person is alive or no more. Based upon that, they can select the tense. First go through the hints, select the tense, identify his uniqueness, and use that uniqueness in the first topic sentence. Everybody knows on reading the first sentence, so what is he going to talk about or who is he going to describe. And in the first paragraph itself, it should comprise of only 3 to 4 sentences. Even if it is for 2 to 3 sentences, it is enough. The first sentence is topic sentence, and second 2 sentences will be what was he, what did he contribute. In other way, how was he famous, how did he become famous, that's all. Then the second paragraph is detailed explanation, including his personal details, family details if given in the whatever the hints that are provided. They are supposed to use only those hints, no need to know about his background history. So use only the personal details and also the educational details, which can be of 4 to 5 sentences or 3 to 4 sentences in the paragraph based upon the number of hints provided. Then coming to the third paragraph, they can go for educational qualifications or career, achievements and honors. Simply speaking, achievements and honors, that means awards or prizes the people have earned. And if the years are mentioned, we need to mention everything. For example, Padma Bhushan in, for example, so and so year 2001, then he won a prestigious Padma Shri award in the year 2001. Like that, they have to use every hint and make it into a meaningful sentence. And here the only thing which they have to focus here is pronoun, that is whether he or she. Always we could not repeat the name. And the second one is the tense, whether it is to be in the past tense or present tense. Based upon the time, they have to use the tense. And then last paragraph is, it should be only of 1 or 2 sentences. Actually, why is it very important is, it is like a concluding state, conclusion, wherein they would come across to once again redefine the man, or that means they would make us to know how remarkable he is or she is. And the second one is their qualities, because why do we go for a biography? We need to learn a message from the life of a person, because they are the greatest personality. So what kind of qualities or what qualities they have learned from the life of that, from going through the hints of that biography.
That's a good, Roja. I think you have totally saying that there are 4 paragraphs, and the first 3 and the last one is the 4th paragraph is the concluding, where I mean it should have some message also out of that 4th line. That's a good thing to the biography. That's a good thing.
Sorry
that
to interrupt, sir.
Yes, please.
One more thing is contribution to the society. Because if he is a scientist, for example, he contributes something to the society through his inventions. In what way that invention is useful to the society or the world? If suppose he is an artist, in what way he contributed to the social development of the society?
That's good.
He inspired the people. So like that, contribution to the society, uniqueness of the person, and I mean why he had become great in the society. And the last one, the qualities we learn from him, and the message, if any, passed down from him.
That's good. Here, actually, if you look at this, this reading comprehension makes again sense here, because without reading the hints, but without reading the hints, children may not understand what to produce a biography sketch. That's a good thing. And now when we'll switch over to another major discourse, and now the turn to the Antony, and this letter writing. In fact, that right from the beginning, not before that, we in any syllabus, anywhere, the letter writing is a very important thing, and we have taken as one of the discourses here in our syllabus. And now, of course, because this is a very important discourse that every day we come across and we encounter. I think this is a letter writing is what are the intricacies that we need to have, and what are the qualities and what are the layout, especially in this letter writing. And in terms of this, I request Anthony to say something on this.
Yes,
Go
sir.
to you.
Yeah. So like before getting into this, just like to add a little bit to ma'am. When you talk about the biography children, that we need to look at the flow, okay, don't break the flow, that is very important. Yes. Now this is actually very important for every writing discourse. The flow has to be maintained, okay, based on the importance of the discourse, like the whatever is asked, like based on the question, you try to give it. Yes. And now moving ahead, when we come to letter writing, children right from your primary school, you have written letters, right? You have written letters like leave letter or something. You already have a bit idea about writing a letter, but main area where you are losing marks, where you are getting confused with the layouts. They generally get confused with the layouts. They mess up things. So that is the reason that I just wanted to focus on those areas, because already all of you are aware of when you write a letter, what are the basic components when you write a letter. So when you talk about the basic components of a letter, first you need to start. I'm going to start with the informal letter first.
Yes.
So in an informal letter, you start with the sender's address. Okay, it's like your address. You are writing a letter, so it's your address. So it's nothing but the station, we can say, like if you are from Hyderabad, write Hyderabad or Warangal, whatever. Then after that you write the date, which is and when you look at the alignment, children, please see that you have the right alignment, align it to the right corner of the page. Okay, don't get confused at that. And next, after that, you have salutation. Now many students, they make mistake by saying dear friend. So like you mentioned dear Ravi, or whoever your friend, you are going to write a letter, write on dear Ravi or dear Rakesh instead of writing dear friend. You can say dear dad, dear mom, but dear friend doesn't make much sense. Then afterwards, moving forward, then you start with, generally we are expected to write minimum 3 paragraphs whenever you write a letter, minimum 3 paragraphs. So first one, you start with the social norms, like you greet, like you talk about about your health. You may inquire about their health. Then you will talk about, for instance, if you are writing a letter to invite someone, then you will talk something about it, and then the main topic will go in the second paragraph. Okay. So the main topic you will discuss in the second paragraph, and then you will then in the closing, you close your conclusion. We say in conclusion, generally we write give regards to aunt or uncle. So in this way you generally conclude a letter. Now the next, after that, in the components we have complimentary, closing, and then signature. Now the area where many students make mistakes, I just wanted to point out here, children. First thing is with the order of sender's address and date. Many students write the date first and then sender's address. Okay, be mindful of that. And when I discuss about the complimentary closure, here many students write small y O-U-R apostrophe S, which doesn't exist in English. So it is a possessive pronoun where you are supposed to write capital Y O-U-R S. So generally these without an apostrophe. Yeah. So this is about the informal letter, children. And when you go forward with the formal letter, formal and informal, what are the major differences? It is with the tone. Okay, with the tone, the language, it has to be very professional. Another thing is when you talk about the social norms, because you are writing a letter to a person whom you exactly don't know, or someone to a higher position person. So when you are writing to him, so definitely you will not use informal language, or you will not use contractions like don't, D-O-N apostrophe don't. We are supposed to write do not, right. So let me go with the components of a formal letter. Sender's address, then you have date, receiver's address, salutation, and subject line. Subject line is actually required because it gives the gist of the letter.
Yes.
In the you write the gist of the
Yes,
letter,
yes.
and the first paragraph in the formal letter you actually try to introduce yourself, because the person who is reading your letter doesn't know you. In an informal letter he knows you.
Yes.
You are writing to your aunt or uncle or your friend, so he knows you. But when you write a formal letter, they don't know you, so you need to introduce yourself, like this is Anthony from model school. So you introduce yourself, and then moving forward you talk about the main idea, like why are you actually writing the letter. Then you discuss in detail about it. Then maybe you would like to, like if you are writing something about what you are expecting to be done, then that will go in the following paragraph, and then you will close with the social norms with expecting your reply as soon as possible, something sir, or do the needful, something like that, and then the complimentary close. And yes, now complimentary close, there is something which we need to be very strict about. When you know the person, I mean you write in the salutation, if you write dear Ravi sir or someone, you know the person, then you write yours sincerely.
Yes.
If you don't know the person, like you write dear sir, then it is obviously yours faithfully, or if it is student, yours obediently.
Yes.
These things you need to keep in your mind, children, when you write, and just stick to the layout, because every discourse has a goal, okay, an objective I should say. So stick to the objective, don't get deviated from the layout and the signature line, sir.
That's wonderful. This, because in letter writing, the layout is very important. Even of course in the salutations also it should be taken care of. There are little nuances also there while writing, especially in the formal letters. You have to take care of that. I hope students would understand what Anthony is trying to say. Thank you very much. Now we have another. Yes, you want to say something?
Yes, sir.
May I add a point,
Just
sir?
a small.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the kids to see.
Actually,
Yeah,
right,
a
right.
small
It's,
example.
children, you need to see this. This is the production of children, and where he has got from his classroom, and just have a look up. And Anthony, you just
Yes,
have.
sir. Yeah, I would like to add.
Yeah, please.
So,
add something.
children, another area where you make mistake is, it is very clearly given in the question that you are Ravi. So you have to imagine yourself as Ravi, and when you write in the signature line, you are supposed to write Ravi, not your name. So look at this. You are Ravi. Write a letter to your friend Suresh, who lives in the Warangal. Yeah. So when you look at that, children, in the left side you can see that dear friend is mentioned, okay, and I have corrected it like dear Suresh, because you are writing a letter to Suresh, okay, and you can see the student has written, okay, her name, which is actually Ravi has to be written, and you can look at the the order of place and the date, okay. And one more thing where you make mistake is, whenever you are asking a question, how are you, you don't mention question mark, the punctuation marks, okay. Just have a look at it, children. So these are like a few corrections that mostly are expected in a which are seen in a letter writing. Yeah.
Yes,
sir.
yes. So yeah, this is regarding the letter, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, next half an hour we have next half an hour we'll focus only on the minor discourses, because we have series of discourses that are targeted in this 8th class. Of course, 9th and 10th also there are. Now let me focus on this discourse, and where the minor discourse first goes to this diary entry. This diary entry is a very important thing, where I really love this, in fact, because we can pour out our emotions into the diary, because it is something come from the heart, So what has happened for a person, I mean for a student, and again how you are entering those things, and it's going to be record, and your thoughts and your emotions are going to be recorded in the form of some structures, And in my opinion, this is a very sensible and very important discourse, and because now for this, I request Roja to speak something on this diary entries.
Thank you, sir. Coming to the minor discourses, starting from 8th to 10th class, all of them are same, except the marking pattern.
Yeah.
In the 8th class, they are being given for 8 marks, whereas from the 9th and 10th classes only for 5 marks.
Yes.
But the pattern is same, of course, but the complexity with which they express might be different from 8th to 9th and 10th classes.
Yeah.
Coming to the 8th class, diary entry is being made very simple to the students. How can we make it very simpler? Before that, diary entry. What is this actually? Most of the times, I would like to quote upon one important point. The people are mistaking it, are misunderstanding it, are misinterpreting it to be the daily routine. Usually when we ask the students to make a diary entry, they go for writing. They think that, oh, whatever we did from the morning to the evening, we need to write it as a diary.
Exactly. This is a very important point we need to think about it, because it's not something what we have done the whole day to record in. It's not that. There is other things are there in the diary entries where the language is targeted. I hope this point you wanted to mention.
Yes, sir.
Right?
That's
right.
right.
Okay.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So here, what we mean to say here is a diary entry is nothing but it is actually the narration of something, an incident or an event or an experience that you have come across on a particular day, whether
Yes.
that is of the same day or the previous days. You want to narrate something which you want to focus upon. Either it might be a memorable thing or an unforgettable thing or a regrettable thing or something which you may not share with others.
Right.
But you want to focus upon it and you want to give much importance for it. So something which made you to feel happy or something which made you to feel sorrowful. So that can be made an entry in a diary. So when you go for such kind of instance as the examination question, that means, for example, imagine yourself to be Oliver in '𝗎 Asks for More, and make a diary entry expressing your feelings or describing your feelings when a public notice was kept up outside your warehouse to sell you away. Or imagine yourself to be Oliver in the lesson 𝗎 Asks for More, and make a diary entry when you were punished by the live board to pick oakum every day. So
Yes.
like that, that means it is text based question. So a situation from the text will be picked up, my dear children, and will be asked you to imagine the person in the story and make a diary entry describing your feelings, expressing your own feelings and also opinions related to the issue. So here let us put focus upon this diary entry. What should be there and how can we make it easy? Most of the times we see the people to make a lot of mistakes while writing the diary entry, because it is a complete paragraph. Because unlike the notice, message and other minor discourses, it should be written in the form of a paragraph.
It's something, it's undercome and under this major discourse also, in fact, this is, but it has into the minor discourse, because it's not mandatory that we could. That's good.
I do
Carry
agree,
on. Yes,
sir.
yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on, please, Roja.
Sir,
Carry on.
thank you, sir. I do agree with you, sir, but if a person is able to write diary entry, it would be easy for him to write news report, sir.
Exactly.
Produce news report. In the same way, it is very easy to write the description, a major discourse. Why means there are similarities between these three. What is the similarity is, a diary entry usually asks you to describe your feelings and express your opinions. So here we focus upon the adjectives. So
Yes.
for the teachers and also for the children, I would like to quote the simple technique which we use in our classrooms is, first of all, make our students to identify at least 4 or 5 describing words, I mean the adjectives. And that too, positive and negative adjectives. I mean to say positive or negative, I mean to say that some positive feelings and negative. The words which are used, a set of the words which describe the positive feelings, and that another set which describes the negative feelings.
Yeah.
Why? Because most of the questions will be targeting this positive and negative instance in the situation, in the lessons. So for example, if the given question asks a person to narrate or describe his situation in a negative way, that means, for example, in a difficulty, for example, or a sorrowful situation, then definitely he requires a set of the negative adjectives. So 4 or 5, why do we ask him to know? Because when he go for developing the diary entry in the form of a paragraph, he needs to use 4 adjectives minimum, 4 describing words to give in a topic sentence first of all, and then to express his feelings, and then also to give his opinion, and also to make a statement, a wishing statement or a hope or a prayer. So that is the reason it would be very useful to the students, first of all, to come up with a set of the adjectives. Then the second tip I would like to proceed is, now analyze the question. Who are you? Are you the Oliver? Are you in a difficult situation or a happy, memorable situation? Based upon that, you go for selection of positive or negative sets. Now, coming to the diary entry once again, layout. So if we go to the layout, you can see on the screen, my dear children, the first thing is you need to write diary entry in bold letters. The next one is place, date, day and time. And here I would like to quote upon the error that is usually being committed by the students. The first thing is, most of the place is of course optional, but you can mention. If it is related to the story in the 8th class, sometimes we don't know the place, so we avoid it. But if you know, you need to write. And coming to the day, date and time, it is not that you can write only here, even you can write it as on the left hand side, day and the date, and time you can go for the right hand side of the page. The next one is dear diary, and here one more thing, one major error which we see when the people write the diary entries, the way in which they write the date. When they come to the date, they simply write, for example, today is 11th of December. They will be writing it as 11-11- December comma 2025, a dash 2025.
Yes.
We won't take that turn unnecessarily, you will be losing the marks. The thing is, you need to write it in the expansion form, or you need to write it in the formal way, like for example 11th 2025, or and which even if you write 11 November 2025 with a comma in between, we will read it as 11th of November 2025, ending with a full stop, a comma after November, and N should be capital as you know, or December, D should be capital as you know. So this is about the date. Most of the times this is being seen, sir, by the students.
That's good. Any lead sentence that you need to
now
have
going
this,
to the
because,
body.
that's very,
Thank you. So coming to the parts of this is only the part layout I am speaking about, sir. The next one is dear diary. This is optional. Either you can write dear diary or you can leave it also. But the only thing is, if you go for writing dear diary, layout, sir. If you go for writing dear diary, you should end with a subscription. Closing statement should be yours. Yours XXX.
Yes.
If you are avoiding dear diary, no need of using yours. Simply Oliver, a signature by the person who is writing the, and even signature is also optional. You can even avoid it.
Good.
And coming to the body, this plays very important role. A diary actually is an ideal paragraph in English, which should be made up of 7 to 8 sentences. If not possible for the 8 students, we can give the choice up to 10 sentences, not more than that. It should be on one page, and as all minor discourses obey, there should be a 4-sided margin.
Exactly.
And the second thing is, now coming to the 7 to 8 sentences. In order to ease you, let us have a quick look at this. The first sentence should be a topic sentence or a lead sentence, which should definitely involve an adjective. It should say, for example, today is the most regrettable day of my life is optional. Then the second one is, coming to the second and third sentences, are 2, 3 and 4 sentences, you can go for giving the details of the incident or the experience. That means what happened, when did it happen, where did it happen, and how did it happen. 3 or 4, all these in only 2 or 3 sentences.
What's the grammatical aspect now that is in the diary entry is there, because it is something routine or a simple present or something, the past action, disconnected action, or even the perfect aspect should be used. What is your opinion on this?
Yeah, thank you, sir, for giving this valid lead. The thing is, when you go for writing the diary entry, the first thing is you have to put stress upon the tense. I mean to say, which tense you need to in which tense you need to present.
Yes.
Most of the times the situations will be from the textbook. So here, imagining yourself to be Oliver and describing your feelings after the completion of that incident. But usually your lead sentence is going to be, today is the most regrettable day.
Yes.
So when you mention today, it is in the present tense. You are in the present. So your diary should be in the present tense. Now you may ask me a question, what about the next? I mean the details of the incident that already occurred. It has happened in the present, recently completed action. So better you use the present perfect tense.
The perfective aspect is appropriate.
Perfective aspect is most appropriate, sir. But the most common error is they will be writing everything in the past tense.
Because children should understand the difference between past action, that is done action, I mean not totally disconnected to the present.
Yes,
Again, perfective is something has an influence from the past.
Yes,
that's a very important, I think teachers should have noted this point here, the way the diary entry should go very naturally. Because have you done it, anything to say about the diary entries, any point?
Yes, sir. Then the third, after 2 or 3 sentences. Now the first sentence is topic sentence, second, third and fourth are explanations, always in the present perfective aspect. Then comes the 4th sentence. Here, my dear students, if you want 5 out of 5 marks or 8 out of 8 in the 8th class, the next sentence should be your experience. Simple. You always keep a sentence blind, I mean, sorry to use blind, we usually give this blind form, sir. So the first thing is your experience. I feel, because it is the present tense. But most of the times we come across that I felt. Once again going back to the past. So I feel. Next one, once again, your opinion.
Right.
What is your experience? What kind of experience? An adjective is to be used. It is a better experience.
Right.
లేదా it is a memorable experience,
Yeah.
exciting experience if it is a positive, it is on positive note. Next one is, that means fifth sentence is your experience, sixth sentence is your feeling.
Yes.
I felt happy. Usually the people write, I feel very happy.
Yes.
I have felt happiness.
Yes.
Like that you can write, but you can't write in the past tense.
Good.
Then the next one is, so one is experience, next one is your feeling, next one is your opinion. Here you can begin the sentence as in my opinion, or according to me, or I think. Please begin the sentence like this and you express. And the last one is a wish or a hope or a prayer. I wish orphans will be treated equally on par with others, or there would be no humiliation in further related to the orphans.
Wonderful.
Or may God bless us to be treated equally, or to gain love and affection from the society. Like that we can end the diary entry.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
this.
sir.
Is a very interesting thing, the diary entries, where the teacher should take more interest into that. Where the children, there's involvement of the children is here apparently we can see it, because what Roja has discussed, those points should keep at the back of your mind, teachers, and of course the children also, when you are writing, and keep all these things in your mind. Because we have just 15 minutes because the paucity of time, and we need to switch over to this next discourse, that is actually the notice. Notice is also very important. Actually, every time, every day, even every moment, in fact, because we find notices in our daily transactions also. We see in our classroom process, at the administrative line in our schools also, the notice is very important. Now I request Anthony to throw some light on this notice.
Yes.
Production.
Yes.
Okay.
So children, notices, like when you are at school in your classroom, sometimes you receive notices from your principal, like about a holiday notice, or maybe about any program in the school. Yeah. So any program in your school or something like that, right? So this is very frequently seen. But when you look at it, when you look at the grammar aspect, or when you look at the language aspect, you look at the layout aspect, you need to be a little bit careful about it. When you write a notice, okay, let me talk about the components of the notice. Okay, please have a look at the layout, children. So first you need to write the name of the institution. Okay, and remember the first letters of that should be of the institution should be in capitals.
All capitals.
All
Yes.
capitals. And then next we have notice should be in like all capitals again. That should be in center, placed in center. Next you have date. Children, many students get confused to write the heading of the notice. It's so simple. For instance, if the notice is about summer vacations, then you need to write summer vacations. If it is something about summer carnival or maybe Diwali celebrations, so it's so simple. You just read the question carefully and you can give the heading. It's so easy. And in the question itself, they are sometimes they mention very clearly who the person, like who is writing the notice. Like imagine you are the school people leader, or imagine you are the head teacher or headmaster or principal. So be very careful at that, where and then you need to write at the person who is issuing the notice. There you need to mention that very, very clearly. And when I come to the body of the notice, children, it has to be very, very concise, like very less short. See, when you talk about major and minor discourse, major is something where you need to be very elaborative, and when it comes to minor discourse, you need to be very, very precise. You have to be careful about your vocabulary. And when you talk about the body of the notice, children, it has to be written in passive voice. Okay, and it has to be in third person point of view.
Yeah.
It is not to be written in
Exactly.
First person point of view. Okay, yeah, and please stick to what is expected from the notice, like the time, the persons, or what is the audience, who are you going to give the notice. So all those aspects need to be covered in the notice. Okay, let me give you a small example, children. There's a question over there. Imagine you are a board member of the workhouse. After Oliver asking for more gruel, the board decided to offer him as an apprentice. Write a notice offering £5 to anyone willing to take Oliver. Okay, so when you look at this, to the left you can see that the student has confused or messed up with the layout. Okay, only the one of the elements like notice is written, and the remaining part is, I mean to say, the institution name is missing and the heading is missing, and even like she has the person has written the day, which is not at all required. Children, just you need to be little bit careful about, try to understand why. Like why do we need to write the day? It is not required, only the date is required. When you write a diary, you write the day, but when you write a notice, you don't need to write the day, only the date itself is sufficient.
Exactly.
And then be very precise, children, with the body, and then with the signature line, the closing. Okay, if you just look at it to the right, I have made some small corrections. Okay, yeah, and as I said, notice, okay, notice and the other minor discourses has almost the connections are there, but this you have to stick to the goal, like the main objective of it. When you write a notice, it is mandatory for notice and message writing, you need to give a box. It has to be written in a box. It is mandatory.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you have mentioned one thing, Anthony, but this should be a passive,
Yes, it has
because
to be.
Because why
passive.
it is in the passive? So that there is an idea, because there should be a reason behind this. What is the reason? Because a person who is writing a notice has a name also there, but why it is in the passive? 1 minute you just mentioned this.
Sir, like what is to be done is important.
Exactly.
What
not agent of action.
Yes,
because
agent
we cannot claim it. No,
yes.
I do this. No principal says that I do this.
Yes.
Because it's an institution.
Yes.
So where the things go. That's a passive is a very prominently we need to use it.
Yes.
Because there is a connection between the notice and the message also.
Yes.
Because immediately I request Roja to have switch over to the message, because you are talking about the difference.
Yes.
Something and you just talk about this.
Yes, sir.
You
Thank
wanted
you,
to
sir.
say anything in the notice is done?
Yeah, it's done.
That
sir.
now
Yeah,
over to
please,
you.
You can add.
Roja.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
And notice and message are similar in almost all the ways,
Yeah.
except the two differences. The first difference is, coming to the body, it is completely same, except the layout. Coming to the layout, in the notice we come across the topic, that means the name of the issuing authority, as well as the heading or the purpose for which we are issuing the notice.
Exactly.
But the message is to give the information in a brief manner. So that's the reason here we are not supposed to write the name of the issuing authority or the agency and the heading. Only the message as the heading, as you can see on the screen, my dear children. So please go through the layout. Only the message you write, and then day, date and time. These three are important in the message, whereas in the notice day is not important, only the date and time are important, but here day is also important. So day comma date and time optional, you can write either on the left hand side or on the right hand side. Now coming to the next important feature of message is salutation, because a message is directly sent to the person, I mean the people, the receiver. So that's the reason here we use the salutation as we go for the letter. So here the salutation should be based upon the person to whom we send the message. For example, as the head of the institution, if you are sending the message to the parents, dear parents it should be, because there should be cordial relationship between us. In the same way it is to the students, dear students. So, and the last one, and everything, the body is same and the salutation and the subscription is same.
That's a good thing. And there is a little difference between this
Sorry,
notice.
sir, one more
yes,
thing is,
yes, please.
sorry to add,
Yeah.
Whether it is a notice or the diary entry or the message, the subscription goes according to the date. That means if the date is written on the left hand side, the subscription should also be there on the left hand side. And the same way, if the date is shifted to the right hand side, that means the people write on the right hand side of the page, then the subscription should also be on the right hand.
The same line,
In the same line,
that
sir.
sense gives a sense of alignment, in fact.
Yes,
It looks
sir,
more
alignment, sir.
professional.
Yeah,
More professional.
yes,
Looks
sir.
more
The
professional.
good point you have mentioned.
Thank you, sir.
Now when we'll go to this another very important discourse, that we have the poster, because this is an activity, we do lot of things, posting in the classroom, in the school process, what the activities kind of sort of thing, and what is about them, because you, I think the poster, you continue with this.
Yes, sir.
Roja.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. A post is one of the important minor discourses which the people should know, because it is mostly useful to us, and we come across the posters many ways in our daily life. Usually what is a poster? It is nothing but a brief representation of something. I mean, usually we use the posters for many purposes. In brief, my dear children, the posters can be used to advertise. That means actually basically the posters can be used for two purposes. One is to create awareness among the people. They are nothing but the mass communication. They are used for mass communication.
When you said in the mass communication, what sort of creativity should be there? Because it should reach, that message should reach in the form of poster. Because a lot of creativity should be there in the poster. And it should be discussed with the children, because what sort of creativity?
Definitely,
okay,
sir.
please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Definitely, I would focus upon that, sir. So commercial purposes and also the creating awareness purposes. Commercial, we mean to say, my dear children, you see many advertisements, announcements outside in the TV or in the radio or in the newspapers, magazines, or on the hoardings, etc.
Right.
Coming to the awareness, as we know, we need to know much information about the scientific inventions, discoveries, or the pandemics, or whatever are the social phenomena, the government policies, etc. Or for example, the scientific issues like pollution, environmental degradation, etc.
Yes.
So in order to make the people know about all these things in a very brief and easy manner, we use the posters. The main purpose is they should be catchy, I mean they should be attractive, and they should use only the brevity is the main concept of the poster. Brevity, I mean to say, they should be very clear.
That message should be conveyed at the same
message
time.
Should be conveyed easily through the pictures, and only the words are the phrases.
Right.
So the key element, my dear teachers and the children, I would like to focus upon here is a poster always involves a usage of phrases or the words, but not the sentences. If we go for the sentences, it becomes a pamphlet. Here in English, we are just focusing upon the poster. So in order to make the people even in a non-verbal mode of communication, or make all the illiterate
does the
or uneducated
pictorial
to know,
representation comes under this message oriented? Any only one, two small phrase kind of thing, and with the pictorial representation?
No, sir. Both. It actually involves two things: a blend of pictorial representation as well as the verbal representation.
Yes.
So pictures, I mean
that
to
should
say,
be
related
precise,
to
in
the
fact.
very precise information, sir. So brevity, clarity, and attractiveness should be there. So here it involves pictures plus phrases. Pictures, once again, only one or two, sir. And sometimes, sorry to focus upon this one.
Please.
Most of the time, the students may feel that we are unable to draw a picture related to the question that is given. For example, environmental degradation. Or it might be about social issues, as in the 8th class. So what to do? So here you are very free to use. First of all, let us go through the layout, my dear children. It's very easy. You can see the topic, for example. Prepare a poster on social issues in India or in the world. Now see, topic is social issues as given in the question. And now going to the picture or the text, you can see on the both right hand side and left hand top corners, you can draw a picture. But if you don't know what kind of picture you need to draw, then you can go for simply using a text. For example, children working in the factories. It indicates child labor. In the same way, a small child, a newborn baby thrown away into the garbage bin. It indicates infanticide. So like that, we can use, either you can draw the pictures or you can simply use the text, so that we visualize the picture which you have written in the form of the text. But it is important. And the next one is, you need to use only the phrases. Based upon the question, if it is about the social issues, you can go for 3 subtopics, as you can see on the board, on the screen here. That is the first one. Here, that is about environmental degradation. So then if you go for social issues, the first one is ancient social issues, modern social issues, and preventive measures. What were the social issues which were found are prevalent in ancient India, and then modern social issues which we face even in the 21st century today, problems faced by the people, and the last one is suggestions or the measures to be taken by the government. And one more attractive feature is, we need to add 1 or 2 slogans definite in the poster.
Nice. That gives, as you said, it's a brevity, that again the message. Something, because we have running short of time, because another discourse that we have, that is invitation. I think, Anthony going to discuss on this invitation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Over to you, Anthony.
Yes, sir. So the reason why we had poster and then invitation, because generally students get confused with invitation and poster, sir, and because they try to put in a lot of information in that, which is not at all accepted. And in very simple words, I should say, poster is for illiterate people. Like even an illiterate, because he is not able to read, so you have to try to give a
pictorial representation.
Pictorial representation, that is, which can give him a little bit idea about the poster. And next, moving ahead with the invitation, children. Invitation, we have lots of, wedding invitation, or based on the different occasions. Like at schools, we have so many occasions that we conduct, annual day celebrations and all. So we are supposed to prepare an invitation card. So invitation card, just stick to the layout. What is exactly required? Just try to put them, okay. And many students, like, again, as I said, sir, they try to put a lot of information, inviting, like exactly like notice. They think it is a notice and they try to put all the information there, which is not required. So first thing, when you write an invitation, so the format, the layout has to be like first invitation, and then afterwards you need to what do we call the occasion. Like you say wedding invitation, when you see a wedding card, it's like wedding invitation, so that is there. And then afterwards you are supposed to give a one liner, like you are cordially invited to, one liner inviting the people, just one liner. And then afterwards what is exactly required, like the time, the venue, or any, like if you wanted to add some more information like about the agenda of the program or the programs in that, the occasion, the celebrations, you can just add it, but it has to be very, very brief. And finally you need to conclude with the person who is issuing the notice, I mean the invitation. So yeah, that is very important. So be very, very precise, children. That is more and more important, okay. Don't get confused with notice and poster. Poster is, you need to be illustrative, and when it is an invitation, it is, you don't find pictures actually.
Yeah, that's good. Good thing. I think you want to say any one point on this invitation, only single point.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Coming
to the invitations, the people are misunderstanding and misinterpreting the poster with the invitation as said by sir, and they are going on making drawings in the invitation also, sir.
Yes,
that they wanted to make a very fancy kind of thing, because
and the
this is a regular practice.
Yes, sir. Second thing is, actually they are missing the inviting sentence.
Exactly.
Without inviting sentence, you will be losing 1 mark, and the essence will be lost actually. And the next thing is, sir, based upon the question that is being given, they need to add activities also. If it is a birthday invitation, these days they are perform many activities or programs. So a memory game or games for the children, prizes for the children, like that. If it is the school anniversary, they need to involve, they need to write the guest, chief guest, honorary guest. Based upon the number of the guests, we will be using different words. And then the speeches,
based on the
prizes,
the purpose,
vote of thanks, etc.
Thank you very much, both of you, and time to end up this program. In fact, because what we have been discussing for the last 1 hour is, I think, totally useful for you. And we have peeped into the classroom and we have touched you children, of course. Along with children, we have even reinforced something to the teachers also in the teaching learning process. If you look at the whole thing, the 1 hour this session, and our focus is the production, how children produce something. That when the discourse-oriented pedagogy, the discourse that we produce is something, the language which is existed in the form of discourses around us. It is maybe a notice or invitation or even any other discourses that major and minor, that what we have been discussing for the last 1 hour. My dear children, I try to understand, whenever you wanted to produce something, see the features of this and the layout of discourses, but it makes sense, because every discourse has its own feature and its own layout kind of thing. Otherwise, why would say all these are different names? We can put only one name. It's okay. Anyhow, this major discourse has a different kind of thing, and you people should think more on this major discourses. And if you want to really enjoy, in the simple form, if you want to really enjoy the language, and the minor discourses are a wonderful thing. Anyhow, in this at the end of this session, I would like to say once again to the children and the teachers that have a great kind of language production, at the same time how your creativity works out through this process. Of course, the end in the process is very important than product. Really, through these teachers in the Roja and the Anthony, they are talking about this, what they focused is on only the process. I hope if you really focus on the process, and automatically product come in the practice. Thank you very much and have a great time. And thank you very much, Anthony and Roja, both of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's a great pleasure joining you, sir.
Right.
Thank you, sir.